Aloha Gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be mixing a beat from start to finish so you guys can see my whole process of exactly how to make your beats hit super hard. Also, find out if you're doing it completely wrong, and if you are, please stop! All right, let's get it. All right, y'all, we in it now. Okay, so first off the bat, right off the bat, we want to get organized. So take a look at this. I got all of my tracks labeled. I got them all grouped. So you open this up, melody, nice and pretty, all the same color. 808, blue, drums, all orange. I got these two, the kick and the drum loop the same color, and then the snare and the percussion the same color. That's just so I can quickly, at a glance, look at all the tracks. So if I want to change something, I'm not scrambling around trying to find it. I don't know if you're like how I used to do it, but you know, you have your session, and all of a sudden it's just all audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, audio 4, all the way down to pretty soon it's audio 45, and you don't know which is which. So before you even start mixing, get them all organized, and it's just gonna make your life so much easier. So let me go ahead and play the beat so you can see what we're working with here. All right, so take a look at this. Now, I don't know why this is. Everyone on TikTok is dancing to a beat that's completely blown out. Please don't mix your tracks like that. Please don't have your track just completely no headroom, all the way completely blown out. Every track on TikTok sound like this. It's like the producers just were like, all right, here you go, man, you're done. And then they gave it to the guy and he rapped on it, and then the next guy had to mix it, and they just took it to the top in the red. Doesn't matter. So please just stop doing that, for the love of God. But it's easy. It's easier than you think to just give yourself a lot of headroom. So just let's play this song. Okay, whoops, I still have it blown out. Put it all to 0. Put it all to 0. Even this is a little hot, so I'm gonna bring these down just to start off. Let's bring them down. You know, I want my kick. I want my kick and my 808 to kind of be the life of the party here. So we'll make sure those are up. You know, and I'm clipping at about, or I'm peaking at about -12. That's a good starting place. Especially if you're gonna master it, or you're gonna give it to someone who's mastered. You at the very least want about -6. We're gonna start off -12 just to give ourselves plenty of room. Okay, and then right off the bat, I'm gonna put a little bit of saturation on there. So let's go over to our audio effects, grab our saturator, and I'm gonna put it on the master, because at the end I'm gonna put saturation on, but I wanna hear what it sounds like as I'm mixing it, because you don't wanna get to the very end and then add it on there and it sounds completely different. So I'm just gonna bump it up just a little bit. And then I'm also gonna put an EQ on there. And put that EQ before the saturator. And we're gonna take everything below about 20. Yeah, let's go 20 hertz. That's just all the nasty stuff. You're not even gonna hear that. And all it's gonna do is, if you get on some big speakers or a big sub, it's just gonna make it sound not good. Okay, and then next, all we're gonna do is we're just gonna static mix. And static mix is basically you're just taking the levels and you're gonna find a good mix without adding any plugins or anything, just with the levels, because that's mainly what mixing is. So we're gonna give everything its spot. Give everything its own room to breathe. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna get to my melody. This is where it's gonna be kind of the muddiest because we have all these sort of like clashing sounds. Let me show you what I got. I got some flutes, some vibes, and then this is like a reverse of the vibes. And then I got the piano. So we want each of these to kind of have their own place. So we're going to go in and we're going to EQ these. I'm going to freeze these because, oops, actually let me cancel that. So let's go ahead and EQ these. And when you're EQing it, let's go ahead, let's throw it into mono. All right, so we want to mix in mono. So let's grab our utility and throw it on the master track. And throw it into mono. This is really going to accentuate what is clashing with each other. So as you're EQing, you can kind of take the frequencies out that are muddying up everything, and doing this in mono is going to give you a way better sense of what's going on. And then when you throw it into stereo, it's going to sound huge. So let's go down the list here. We got our flutes first. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll this off the bottom here. And you want to do this with every, you know, with all the drums going on, because as you take this down, or you start cutting the bottom end off, it may sound really thin, but with everything going, you're not going to miss that low end, because we want plenty of room for the 808 and the kick. Okay, let's find any frequencies that are kind of standing out. And this is good ear training. So let's go ahead and grab one of these points on the EQ, and let's bring the Q down. And this is a good test. Just close your eyes and then kind of sweep the frequencies. And let's find where the harsh frequencies lie. And then that's when we're going to pull back. And we're going to pull it down, and that's going to clean up the sound completely. Right there. I'm going to bring it down. That's at about 760. Just take it down a little bit. Now I'm on the reverse of the vibes. I'm gonna take a lot of the low end off, so it's more of just a feel, more of a pad. And I'm gonna bring the high end up. Maybe cut at that 7. All right, and then at the last part of the melody, we got this piano that comes in the second half. I'm gonna loop this. brightness to come out. Let's go to our 808. Now, one thing you guys want to do if you're using a sample, I always throw the tuner on there because this is going to be a big part of making your 808 sound the best, is making sure that they're completely in tune with the track. So, you know, you can find your tuner in your audio effects, just throw that on there. And for example, on this one, I needed to, let's go to the sample here. I had to bring it up about 14 cents to make it hit right, you know, right on that center. Actually, let me bring it down a couple. It looks like it's just barely off. And that's gonna sync completely with your other tracks and your other melodies. And it's gonna actually make it hit harder. Okay, so for the 808, I'm gonna put a limiter on there, and we're just gonna tuck any of those peaks back. You know what? I'm gonna use the glue compressor. I love using the glue compressor. We're just gonna tuck it back just a little bit, just to get any of those peaks. Anything under 30, and maybe we can bump it up right at like the 40. There we go. All right, now my drums. The drums, I got a loop that I'm kind of using as just sort of an effect, sort of a feel. So I'm gonna take the low end out of this. It's got a kick and a snare in there. Play it. I'm gonna cut it right at about 500. Get any nastiness out of there. I want that smack of the snare to come through. Guys, noticing a pattern? This high pass can do wonders, getting rid of all that unwanted frequency that muddies up a lot of your tracks. So I'm just gonna boost this at about 60. And the name of the game here is just let the 808 and the kick each have their own spot. So I have the 808 at about 40, and then I boosted it at about 40, and the kick I'm boosting it at about 60. So each of these instruments have their own spot in the track. And then on a kick, you don't want to bust that high end, because everyone's listening to it on earbuds or just through their laptop or through their speakers, and you still want that kick to hit hard. Again, we're still in mono. We're still in mono right now. Okay. Now I want this snare to crack. Take this low end out, and I'm just gonna bring some of the highs up. There we go. This already kind of smacks. I layered a couple claps and snares together. I'm gonna freeze some of these. Freezing the tracks can really free up a lot of your CPU. So I'm gonna freeze a couple of these tracks that I've already mixed, just so we can get a little more CPU. I don't know what it is, but the capture card is just like eating up all my system right now. Normally it doesn't give me any trouble, but for some reason today, when I'm trying to drop some knowledge for you guys, it is just giving me a bunch of trouble. So we will wait. I won't let you guys sit through this. I'm gonna cut it and I'll meet you right now. Okay, you guys wanna know a super hack for your drums? I don't know what Ableton did, but they gave us the sauce with this drum bus right here. You throw this, like this is why you wanna group a lot of your tracks. We have our drums group right here. Let's throw our drum bus on here and just check this out. Hard, a little bit of crunch, some boom. Woo, woo. That just took it up a whole notch. Okay. Now for percussion, I'm just gonna roll off the end. There's not a lot going on here, so I'm just gonna roll off that bottom. Just like this. Maybe add some high end. There you go. With the percussion, I love to go into the controls here and then put this random pan on here. And what that's going to do is that when we go back into stereo, that's going to be putting your percussion on both sides and, you know, just give people some ear candy. All right, let's close that. Onto the hi-hats. I got a, let's see. So this is kind of like our fancy hats. And then I just got a low 8th note. If you guys don't know about this, to give your hi-hats a little bit more feel, alternate the velocity of each hit. So the first one's, you know, about half, and then the second one is even lower. So then it gives it kind of this feel. A little bit of groove, a little bit of extra groove on top. For the hi-hats, I'm just going to put an EQ on the whole group, and then let's just bring some of this down. And then I'm going to add a saturator as well, so these can kind of peek out of the mix. How are we doing on our levels? We're getting a little hot right here, so if that happens, don't worry, don't freak out. Just put your utility. Most likely the culprit is the drums after we put that drum bus on there. So let's bring the gain down a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing with the 808. Good to just throw the utility on all your main groups. Then you can just go through and kind of pull each one back. Now let's move on to the little sauce here. For these last 3 tracks, all I have is just a little tambourine hit on every second bar. Yeah, there we go. So for that, I'm just, same thing, just gonna take the low end off. And then I think I'll push it a little bit more towards the back with a reverb. I'm gonna put a reverb right on the track. Let's put a reverb on here. Throw a saturator. Now be careful when you throw your reverbs on there. Another good trick is to just throw an EQ at the very end, because as you add reverb or delay, it's going to put some of the low end back into the track and, you know, kind of muddy it up. So let's just pull the low end out of there after the reverb's on. You can also do it in here, low cut, but I like to just throw the EQ on there so I know what I'm looking at. Okay, next we got Sonar Percussion from Wonder Girl. Okay, that's a cool little sound. I'd have that just on every one of the 4th bar. So again, let's take the low end off. You can see it kind of spike right there. So let's see if we can isolate that. I'm gonna throw a delay on that for sure, just to give it a little bit more of an interesting flavor. So let's go here, H delay. Just kind of put on either an eighth note or a quarter note, and turn the frequency up. Again, take the low end off of the delay. All right, and then last but not least, we have this little vocal track. I kind of have it bass. I took the end of the tail and I chopped it, and then I reversed it, and then I have it kind of swelling up as it hits each of that as the second bar comes in, and I do that 3 times, and then on the 4th one I let the sample play. But I'm thinking I kind of want to roll off the high end as well as the low end and kind of just give it like a haunting sort of feel in the background. Make it more of an instrument than an actual voice, because obviously someone's gonna be rapping or singing on this. And then let's throw some reverb on there as well. Throw some glue compressor on that after your reverb to really bring it out. And then again, let's throw an EQ on here so it doesn't get too muddy. There you go. Nice little tail on the end. And then another great trick is to use this auto pan, especially on pads or like anything haunting like that. Turn the amount up and you see these little lines. That's exactly what your sound is going to do. It's going to pan sort of back and forth. So I like to, you know, depending on if you're going to use it as like a sort of musical instrument, or in this case, I just kind of want it going back and forth. So each time it comes in, it's on a different side of your, it's hitting either ear, and just makes it more interesting. Probably do the same thing with this sonar as well. And keep adjusting as you start adding plugins. It may boost your signal a little bit. Keep adjusting. Let's see if I can get this kick to smack even harder. So I'm going to put a glue compressor, and we're just going to soft clip that kick. And then we're going to have to bring it down. So throw a utility on there, and then just bring the gain down. And you still get that nastiness without it peeking out too much. Take it out of mono. Woo! Okay, now the ultimate test is if you have headphones, you turn your headphones all the way down and then slowly rise it back up and kind of hear what's sticking out. So I'm going to do that with the master fader because with the capture card, you won't, you know, if I turn the headphones down, you won't be able to tell. But so I'm just going to bring it down and then I'll slowly bring it up, and then let's try and see what's sticking out or what you can hear. Okay, maybe bring the clap down just a little bit here. Let's do it again. Really just looking for that kick and that 808 to stick out. I like that right there. Okay. All right, let's go to our master. Normally I would just use, Ableton has so many great mastering plugins. I've been on the Ozone 9 lately, but if you don't have that, not a big deal. Just come on over to your audio effects rack. We got mixing and mastering. There's so many presets to choose from. I like this stereo enhanced mastering. Sometimes I bring up the stereo enhancement a little bit more. Just make it sound super wide. But again, you don't want to clip it out. That sounds sweet right there. Hope you guys learned something. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, smash the like button. Also subscribe if you already haven't done it. Also, if you guys are interested in mixing vocals, I made a video a couple weeks back that I would need you guys to check out right now. So go ahead and click on that right here and take your vocal mixing to the next level. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Aloha.